something I've taught you before, but I think it's so important. It's so important that it's better to hear it 100 times than 0. You know what I mean? It's always good to remember that. It's just to remind that this sound, the TH, which everybody has a problem with, but it's so important because when you know that when you speak to English speakers, to Americans especially, they're expecting that sound, they're waiting for it, and if you don't have it, they get confused. You know what I'm talking about? Now, I know, because I speak Russian too, and I speak German too, so I know it's very easy to confuse these sounds with S here, or Z over there, right? But unfortunately, this is not an acceptable alternative, because if we want to say think, and we say sink, it's like the Titanic, you know, that's it, you're in the water. Sinking is what happens to a boat if it has a hole in it.
What are you thinking?
Exactly. You know that commercial, the Wall Street commercial with the boat?
Maybe it depends on area?
The area?
Yeah.
Well, if you're in Venice, yeah, you can't think much. You're sink. You're like a stone. You know, you don't have time to think. If you're in the Titanic, you don't have time. Well, they had 2 hours to think, but it was too little. You know that. So anyway, again, sink is not an acceptable alternative to think. It's not. It's a different word. It means something else, and it can confuse the people you're talking to. So you make that small effort, just stick out your tongue, this tongue, just about 1/4 of an inch between your teeth. It's not that hard. It makes you feel ridiculous. I know you feel ridiculous doing it, and I can swear to God right before you and before God that I felt stupid the first 6 months when I tried to do in your language.
So good.
Thank you very much, but I've been practicing.
Especially for Israelis.
Yeah, and when I understood that there is a serious difference between bit and beat. Alright? You know, the first time they beat you and you understand, okay, there's a difference. Okay, bit and beat. Alright, so if I manage to learn something, every time I teach, I swear, every time I teach, somebody stop smoking. Okay? Somebody quit smoking. There's an ambulance somewhere. Okay. Throw cannot be mixed up with throw because it's very simple. There is no such word. There is nothing like that. But that's not the worst case. The worst case is if it has meaning and it means something else completely. That's the worst case. Now, thaw. What is thaw? No, not saw. Not saw, thaw. Look at my tongue. Thaw. Thaw means you have something in the freezer. Let's take, for example, a chicken. You got a chicken in the freezer. You want to cook it for dinner. You got to take it out for a few hours to thaw before you cook it. That's it. You take it out of the freezer. You put in some water, whatever. You just wait for it to thaw before you cook it. Because if you cook it frozen, you know it's going to be a disaster. You know it's going to be a disaster, right? You need to let the meat thaw. And then you can cook it. When it's soft and then, never mind, you know how to cook. So you can see why thaw cannot be confused or replaced with saw. Because saw, as our good friend told us right now, is this. This is saw. You take a saw and you just hack. Right? Now that's barbaric. You don't do that to a chicken. Right?
And so it's see in the past.
It's also the see in the past. That's right. Saw with your eyes, right? So you see why we can't confuse those words. We can't replace them. It's very important. This thing here, thin. Thin cannot be confused with sin, because sin, what is sin? Yeah, it's lying, it's cheating, it's saying bad words about someone behind their back. It's, you know what I mean, right?
Sin?
Lying.
Lie?
To lie, to say bad things, to say wrong things, to give wrong information. It's a sin. It's a sin to take money with no good reason from someone, to blackmail someone. It's a sin. You know? To cheat people. This, you see, you got 3 cards here, okay? 3 cards. 3 cards. 1, 2, 3 card.
Okay.
Where's the king?
In the middle.
That's a sin. The one playing this game is a sinner, and the one betting is a sinner. Because
Gambling?
yeah, it's also a sin. According to the Bible, it's a sin. You shouldn't gamble. And the guy doing it, you know he's cheating. It's not an honest game, he's cheating you. He's got you on a hook, you know that. You know it's not honest, because his hand is faster than your eyes. His hand is faster than your eyes. Much faster.
Okay.
You can't get it, he's cheating you. It's a sin. Alright, so you see how serious this is? You can't confuse these words. You have to just make an effort and do it. Thin. Thin. Right?
Thin.
Thin. That's right, you did it. You did it. Thick. What is thick?
Thick.
Thick. What is thick?
Thick.
Thick. Yeah, that's right. We cannot confuse it with sick. Sick is something else.
It's ill.
You? That's right. It's completely different. That's why it's important. Now, this sound is presented, especially in the Greek language, with this symbol. Th. Yeah. It's the Greek symbol. You can find it in dictionaries too, in good dictionaries, if they have the pronunciation part, what we call phonetics. You can find this symbol. The problem is, people cannot pronounce this symbol just by looking at it. If they've never heard it, they can't pronounce it. You see what I mean? Because this is not a part of your language. It's not a part of your language. It has nothing, it has no meaning in your language. And that's why it's hard to hear the difference. It's like, how can I put this? That's why Israelis, they can't hear e. They can't hear difference.
Yeah.
Because it makes no difference in Hebrew. It makes no difference. Right?
All right.
In Ukraine, good. What's the difference? You come from Ukraine?
Yeah.
Good, so you know. You can say good, you can say good, it's all the same. Right?
But I hear difference.
You do. You do. Alright, but sometimes it's hard to switch. It's hard to make the switch.
It's hard to switch when I
Speak
fluently.
fluently.
But
I know, because I speak your language. Alright. You see, this is why I learned your language. I learned your language to understand you better. That's why I learned it. It's not for me. It's for you.
Okay, you explained that sing it's wrong to say, and I heard that Israelis, they say think, yes.
What is this?
This thing, what is it?
It does not exist. There is no such word. But I tell you something else. We have this.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Thanks cannot be confused with it's my phone. Thanks cannot be confused with tanks. Because tank, what is a tank?
The car.
It's an armored vehicle with a cannon, right? With a gun. It's something else completely, right? I'll show you something about that. No, I don't have it here. Never mind that. I have a movie, a very old movie from the 40s when they're in war, and there's an English soldier, and there's an Italian soldier that cannot say th, right? And the English soldier sent the Italian soldier to check the condition of the Germans, so what they have online, like what's waiting for us, what they have deployed. And the Italian comes back, and he's a little bit uneducated, and he said it's the First World War. It's the first time they ever saw a tank. It's the first battle with tanks. First World War, 1914. It's the first war with tanks. So they don't know what it is, right? So the Italian, he comes back to the English officer, and he says they have this big new monster with the big new monster with the chains, with the caterpillar. And the Englishman said, "Oh, tanks." and the Italian says, "You're welcome." Thanks. You're welcome. Okay. Now we have this sound, and again, if you see the sound, it doesn't help you much because you don't know how to pronounce it unless you heard it. It's pronounced the. 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 We have it here. The. It's not z like Germans, and it's not the like Israelis. It's the. And the reason it's so hard to hear because usually this word is spoken very fast. When English people and Americans, when they say this word, it's really fast.
And why in school they learn that? Why it's so?
That's because the teacher is not a native speaker of English. She can't pronounce it herself.
Uh-oh.
Aha. Let's try and research some of the names of the English teachers in Israel, okay? I'll just tell you a few names. I have a lot of students at school age. And I always ask them, exactly, Rivka, and I always ask them, what's your English teacher's name at school? And I hear stuff like this. Irina. Svetlana.
Okay.
That's one division. The other side is Shimrit. Yael. Nitsa. My first reaction is, oh my God. That's not going to work out. That's not, and it's a waste too. It's a big waste, and I'll tell you why. Because kids are much more flexible than we are. They can hear it. They can hear a difference. They can tell a difference. You know, kids are much more open than we are. And if you give them, if you mislead them, if you give them the wrong information, you're just wasting their talent because they can do it. You know, kids are not stupid. Kids, they watch TV. They can hear a difference. All right. Now there, which is over there, somewhere over there. Of course, you cannot say there because that does not exist, and there is something else completely. You know the word dare? Dare. What does it mean to dare? No, not this guy. Not this one. Not dare. No. Dare. There's a game. Truth or dare. You tell the truth or we dare you. You know that game?
Yeah.
You know that game, truth or dare? What do you call it in Russian?
Как
Something like that. You tell the